Okay, we have the July 19 release notes here for 2022. Last week we talked about a lot of changes coming up. This literal patch note that just released. We got Living World Season 1. The next episode has released. Clockwork Chaos. Massive changes to Fractal Instabilities. And we also have raid reward changes. And I believe I saw a little bit of PvP fixes here and there. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Okay, so Living World Season 1, Clockwork Chaos. In the wake of the climactic events of the personal story, a villainous plot is coming to fruition. Queen Jenna has announced a grand gathering to celebrate the 10th anniversary of her rule and the enduring spirit of Kryta. But behind the scenes, not all is going entirely according to plan. Meet up with your friends Rox and Bram to attend the commencement ceremony and confront the enemy behind the recent disturbances face to face. Try this, looks better. Why? Because is it in dark mode? Is that why you want me to try it? No, this is... Oh, actually, you know what? This actually might be... Yeah, you know what? This might be better because it actually shows the instabilities. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Okay. After years of being unavailable, the Clockwork Chaos episode of the Living World storyline has been restored and restructured as a linear story journal episode. This episode is permanently available for free to all players and does not need to be unlocked. Over the coming year, we'll release 2 more episodes of Season 1 to chronicle the Commander's battle against a lurking evil between the end of the personal story and the beginning of Living World Season 2. Yeah, again, I feel like there's a lot to accomplish in Season 1 to say 2 more episodes. I think there's 3 more technically, right? But I think what they'll combine is Escape and Battle of Lion's Arch is literally just going to be condensed into 1 episode. They're going to have the Nightmare Tower in 1 episode. And I guess, yeah, that's fine. But there's a lot. Like, there's Cutthroat Politics. There's Bazaar of the Four Winds, which is technically 4 Winds. Which, that I think is okay. There's Edge of the Mists, which had a brief update. Of course, that was more related to WW, but there was a bit of a story there. So I think that, yeah, they're definitely... They've left out a lot of important bits. I don't know how they're gonna remove Edge of the Mist or if they will include it, because Edge of the Mist is actually what introduces Timey to the update, to Living World Season 1. Timey gets introduced in that particular episode. So it'll be interesting to see how they condense the rest of the season. Anyway, the original Clockwork Chaos achievements, along with a set of new achievements, are now in a Clockwork Chaos category in the Story Journals achievements section. Completing the new achievements will progress a new Clockwork Chaos Mastery meta achievement to earn new rewards. Okay. Existing achievements will retain their completion status if you earn them during the original Clockwork Chaos release. Some existing achievements have been added with additional goals or revised goals to ensure that they can still be completed. The original event's worldwide Clockwork Invasions has been replaced by a permanent recurring invasion event taking place in Gindaran Fields every 2 hours. Interesting, okay. Porteria World Boss Improvements. We've made updates and adjustments to each of the 4 starting zone world bosses. Our goal is to bring them closer to our current design standards by adding skill telegraphs and defiance bars, improving encounter mechanics, and rebalancing health pools to accommodate the power level of modern profession builds. The Great Jungle Wurm, Shadow Behemoth, and Svanir Shaman Chief also received some model and texture quality improvements, and 1 champion loot bag will be added to the completion rewards for each event. Yeah, I do like, again, that they're balanced. Well, I mean, they're not gonna fix them 100% to, you know, be in place of what the builds are today, but just a bit of a slight challenge for new players, so they're not just easy boss kills, right? They want to make it at least somewhat of a fun experience for new players. I like this. Very good. Great Jungle Wurm. So they updated the model for the Jungle Wurm to improve the texture quality and the model detail. Boss health has been increased. They've updated the mechanics of the encounter, improved messaging of skill telegraphs, and rebalanced skills across the encounter. We've also added the additional rewards for successfully completing the encounter. The Shadow Behemoth has also had the same texture quality and model detail update. Same boss health increase, mechanics of the encounter. They've improved messaging of skill telegraphs, rebalanced skills across the encounter. Portal health increase. So Shadow Behemoth in its phases spawns portals, which then spawn mobs, and you basically want to kill the portals before you get back to the boss, otherwise it will keep spawning the mobs. So I guess, yeah, they're just increasing the portal health. Adjusted the portals to now take condition and critical damage. Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, how can a portal get condition damage? It's a portal, it's not a being. Interesting. Anyway, well, I guess, okay, more damage. Added additional rewards for successfully completing the encounter. Good. Fire Elemental. Now, this one is the only boss that did not actually get any model update. I don't know if it's just because it's a fire enemy, and I guess it's just the texture doesn't make sense to put in the... I don't know. So I guess it's just the only one that didn't get an update. But it did get an increased boss health, updated mechanics of the encounter, improved messaging of skill telegraphs, rebalanced skills across the encounter, and added additional rewards for successfully completing the encounter. Nice. Svanir Shaman Chief. Updated the model for both the Svanir Shaman Chief and his transformed state to improve texture quality and model detail. Updated the model of the Svanir Dragon Totem, increased boss health, and updated changes mechanics to the encounter. Again, improved messaging of the skill telegraphs, rebalanced skills across the encounter, and added additional rewards for completing the encounter. Yeah, so again, only Fire Elemental did not get an actual model change. And obviously, the Svanir Shaman Chief summons like an ice crystal appearance. And it's kind of annoying, actually. A lot of FPS drops there. They have improved its model and texture quality, so yeah. And the totem is more or less, yeah, that statue you could see here. That's shown. So, there you go. All right, Fractal Mistlock Instability improvements. Quite some interesting changes here, chat. Not gonna lie. We'll talk about them now, and then I'll get to what I think about them more or less. All right, so the Mistlock Instability system is intended to keep Fractals of the Mist feeling fresh, with each instability introducing a new twist that provides additional challenges when completing an encounter. However, some instability combinations have a tendency to be more frustrating than challenging or fun. In the July 19th update, which is actually today, we are making adjustments to nearly every Mistlock instability to reduce frustrating difficulty spikes, reward players for taking advantage of positive play opportunities, and increase the synergy between instabilities across the board. Be keeping a close eye on these changes and how players adapt to them. Hey, what's up, Rose? How you doing? Going over the patch notes right now. Alright, Mistlock Instability Adrenaline Rush. Reduced enemies' damage reduction when unaffected by Enrage from 20% to 10%. Enraged enemies now deal 100% increased damage but cannot crit. Critical hits with a 150% damage increase could result in random spikes of lethal damage with very little counterplay. Our goal is to smooth out those spikes by lowering the highest potential damage and raising the lowest potential damage. Yeah. I actually was fine with this. I know. Yeah, I think I was actually fine with this. They didn't really need to reduce this. I don't know. I didn't really see an issue with Adrenaline Rush. Alright, Mistlock Instability. Afflicted. This instability now increases the duration of both resistance and resolution. Boon duration increase has been lowered from 50% to 33%. Resistance upkeep was a bit too easy with this instability active and did not directly contribute to protection against enemy condition damage. Resolution has been added to this instability's duration benefit to give it clear counterplay for players to take advantage of. Mistlock Instability Boon Overload. Rather than increasing incoming strike damage, each boon on the player now reduces maximum health by 1.5% to a maximum of 18% with full boons. Changing from incoming strike damage to maximum health percentage ensures that all incoming damage is relevant to the risk of boon upkeep with this instability active. It also enables better synergy with other instabilities that focus on increased raw damage. I'll actually get to this in a bit. Mistlock Instability, Flux Bomb. Flux Bombs now affect 50% less space, have 50% shorter duration, and occur 50% more frequently. Additionally, enemies standing in flux bomb from this instability are now afflicted with random conditions. Flux bombs are incredibly noisy, and a reduction in size and duration should help clean up the field of battle. The increased frequency creates more opportunities to strategically place these around battlefield, and afflicting conditions on enemies further incentivize proper placement of both enemies and bombs. You know, I felt like I was okay with... I feel like I was okay with the flux. I mean, they are annoying, no, don't get me wrong, but the fact that you can now place them on the boss to inflict more condition damage, I don't know. And they happen more frequent, right? They happen more frequent now, so I don't know. It feels like a cheese. Like there's another one that's gonna be even more cheesy, but depending on who you are, if you're a static or a pug, will make the difference. But this feels like a cheese try. I don't know about the flux bomb. You're allowing it to inflict damage on, you know, it's supposed to be an instability and it's supposed to be inconvenient. Now it just feels like, yeah, it's basically if you just, you know, stack it on the boss on the other side where your team is on the opposite end of the boss, it's just more condition damage. Yeah, it's more frequent too. It's definitely smaller, so now it means it's even easier to position, because originally they're way bigger in size, that positioning them would probably still attack your group, right? It's hard to position them properly because they're very massive. Yeah, I don't know about this change. This is a very like safe change for players. You know, it feels like with a lot of they're doing here is kind of dumbing down the instabilities, which they are annoying to deal with, but this feels like a little too much. And I'll get to the rest in a bit, because I did read two more out of these. So Fractal Vindicators. So the Vindicator damage has been increased by 20%, but the health has been reduced by 33%. Vindicators are meant to be threatening and a clear priority target when they spawn due to their high damage output and ability to compound existing encounter mechanics. The health decrease encourages players to take those enemies down as quickly as possible, while the damage increase makes it riskier to leave them alone. Well, I mean, I feel like 30, I guess 33%, it's okay. Health. I'm okay with the damage increase, and I know they have to take away something from them. I guess this is okay. But I think I would have, if they would have reduced the health, maybe 15% would have been fine. Yeah, 15% would have been okay. I don't know about 33% seems a little bit too safe, but that I feel like that's what they're playing with. A lot of these instabilities feel like they're playing it safe for people, and then giving them a lot of advantages to make of the instabilities rather than them being an annoyance. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, Mistlock Instability, Frailty. So rather than reduce health, players now take 10% increase damage from all sources. Health reduction is a very punishing condition when it's always on. Changing to increased damage provides clearer counterplay from keeping up protection. From keeping up protection. Yes, that is correct. I read that correct. While improving synergy between this instability and the newly reworked Boon Overload. Nice. Mistlock Instability, Hamstrung. The slow effect caused by this has been capped at 33%. Losing movement speed when damaged is a very powerful form of compounding failure when left uncapped, mitigating the potential for rallying moments in which the players come back with the brink of death. The new 33% cap maintains the risk of unhealed damage intake and reinforces the usage of certain as counterplay in dire moments. Mistlock Instability, last laugh. Enemy explosions now take 1 second longer before firing, but deal a flat 25% damage to health. Stunned enemies now apply regeneration, stability, and protection to nearby players on death. Bro, this is wow, this is free boons. This is literal free boons. Last laugh can be very frustrating in fractals with large groups. An extra second to maneuver around attacks gives an additional grace, while the flat attack damage percentage reduces the need to respect the mechanic. Enemies applying regeneration in addition to protection and stability further the desire to coordinate finishing off stunned enemies. You're getting rewarded more or less for doing it. Hey, what's up, Joe? How are you doing? Yeah, it's like you free boons for kind of, you know, getting the stun in here, I guess. Yeah. All right, no pain, no gain. Stripping boons from enemies now applies that boon to nearby allies. The previous effect of life stealing when stripping boons. The previous effect of life stealing when stripping boons had reduced the value of the player was at full health. Applying boons to your party is nearly always a benefit and introduces some interesting synergy when the instability is coupled with boon overload. Well, no more necro strips from. I feel like this kind of takes out necro strips now. Stripping boons from enemies now applies that boon to nearby allies. Okay, so stripping boons from enemies now applies that boon to nearby allies. Rather than increasing incoming strike damage, each boon on the player now reduces maximum health by 1.5% to a maximum 18% with full boons. Changing from incoming strike damage to maximum health percentage ensures that all incoming damage is relevant to the risk of the boon upkeep with this instability active. Enables better synergy with other. Okay. I can see where they're going with it. I can see where they're going with it. I mean, it kind of is like trying to be like a smart play in a way. I feel like though it takes out. Well, I don't know. I think for getting necros out of fractals, why not? Yeah, I guess that's sure. Why not? Mistlock Instability outflanked. The damage reduction from being attacked head-on has been removed. Players now take 100% increased damage when attacked from behind. Non-boss enemies now take 100% increased damage when attacked from behind or the side. Outflank caused some serious damage spikes that were capable of one-shotting players, which is rarely fun. The change to an offensive benefit that affects both players and enemies further enforces the risk reward for players that can result in faster clear times when groups take full advantage of the instability. This, honestly, I don't think needed to be changed. Yeah, I rarely ever see. I mean, yeah, it can happen where all of a sudden a player just gets deleted, but it's very. My experience has been very rare. Like it does happen. Not to say it happens once in a blue moon, but it's not very frequent as I would think it is. At least for me. I felt like this instability didn't really require a change like this. This is a kind of a very big change for this. Yeah, I don't feel like this one needed it. Mistlock Instability, social awkwardness. The push back mechanic when standing near another player can now be negated by stability. Wow, so I guess this is kind of useful because there are some jumping puzzle fractals, right? Particularly what's it called? Cliffside. Well, Cliffside? No. There's two. There's three actually. Cliffside. What else? There is not uncategorized. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, well, the fractals that have it'll come to my head. I think it is Cliffside. Anyway, yeah, there's a couple, anyways, jumping puzzles in some of the fractals, but yeah, I guess okay. It isn't just it can kind of solve that annoying sort of mechanic that it's supposed to do, because if you're standing next to a player with social awkwardness, you can actually push the player off. Sometimes yeet them if you want to anyway, because you don't like them, maybe, I don't know. Or if they're a Norn, you know, because why wouldn't you like push the Norn off the ledge? If your friend is playing a Norn, tell them to delete their character and play another race. So yeah, I think this will be okay. Give someone a reason to actually put stability now when you have this. There are many mechanics in Fractals that encourages players to stand together. Allowing players to use stability to counter the pushback of this instability creates the opportunity for clever skill usage and group coordination. Well, I mean, I don't know about group coordination, because if the mechanic is not there, players can stick together most of the time anyway. Some other Fractals are, you know, some other instabilities rarely want you to spread away from your friends. So I think it's okay. But yeah, I guess a reason to have stability. So now you can flame someone if they don't, you know, put stab on you with social awkwardness. Mistlock Instability, stick together. Speaking of instabilities that require you to be near or further from your group, another one, stick together, is going to be incoming damage when not within range of 300 of an ally is now increased by 25%. That's down from 60%. Anyway, incoming damage when not within a range of 300 of an ally is now increased by 25%, down from 60%. Players now deal 5% increased damage when within a range of 300 of an ally, rather than taking 20% reduced damage. Stick together created some sticky moments of spiky damage intake and could feel unfair with encounters with mechanics that force players away from each other, reducing the percentage increase and flipping the positive from a defensive boon to an offensive one. Further smooths out the damage curve and actively awards players who position themselves correctly throughout the encounter. These changes also create more synergy between this instability and others, such as social awkwardness, which can also now be countered. I guess, yeah, this could actually kind of prove more effective. It feels like this was supposed to be, you know, it does seem counterintuitive, stick together, but then like there are mechanics that you have to spread away a little bit. And at the same time, I feel like it was meant to be like that, right? It kind of felt like that was the point of this instability. So now they're changing it where it's supposed to reward you for being together even further. Yeah. Now you'd say, I guess it makes more sense of what it's supposed to do, but then earlier you could have argued that it's an irony sort of play. I don't know. Yeah. Mistlock Instabilities, Sugar Rush. Reduce the attack speed and movement speed increase on enemies from 35% to 25%. Enemies with Sugar Rush now have 25% reduced critical chance. Enemies with high attack speed can be very dangerous, as more frequent attacks mean more opportunities to critical hit. When combined with when combined with more or other instabilities, that increases damage intake. This instability could be incredibly deadly and result in a higher chance of enemies one-shotting players. Toning down the attack speed increase rate and toning down the attack speed increase and reducing critical chance allows for better. Honestly, nah, this didn't need to be reduced. This is like a nerf for the sake of a nerf. Nah, this should have been kept as is. Yeah, it should have been kept. That's at least what I think. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? What's up, Mel? Healing Thief incoming. Don't get any ideas now. All right, Mistlock Instability. Toxic Sickness. The Toxic Sickness Vomit attack now affects both allies and enemies and applies the Poison, Torment, Confusion, and Debilitated conditions. In Fractals, Debilitated decreases outgoing damage by 10% per stack and goes up to 30%. We wanted there to be a clear risk-reward element to Toxic Sickness, focusing on creating opportunities for strategic positioning among the group to take full advantage of the system. The rewards are high, although the punishment for failure is higher. Basically, Toxic Sickness is like a pizza sort of. Basically, your player vomits. Okay, you vomit. Okay, it's kind of disgusting in Fractals, but the projectile is basically in the shape of a long pizza, and normally what you would do is you wait for like a couple, like it literally the whole sickness, like it pops up, and then that pizza trail is like an orange trail that you look at, and then within 2 to 3 seconds you want to basically face opposite your players, your friends, right? So that all of you vomit away from the group. No one like hits each other with the vomit. And so that's basically how it goes. Now you still have to do that, but now what they're doing is the fact that you can apply the conditions to the enemy means if you would rather have a better reward, basically you could all time it where you're facing just the mob itself or the boss itself and just basically vomit on the boss, and then the boss will get conditions. And if you time it well, you'll all do it together, and wow, perfect. You'll one-shot the boss by just projectile vomiting on them. That's basically what this is. If you miss and you somehow you aim it at your friend, you'll basically kill your friend, and then you'll be basically known as the person who projectile vomited on their friend, and then they'll kick you off the fractal. So this is something like if you're in a static, probably whatever, it's fine. But if you're in a pug group and you accidentally do this to your friend, oh boy, you probably piss off someone if you piss off the wrong person who just, you know, one mistake is all it takes to piss them off. So in a static, this is fine. In a pug group, this feels like it's going to lead to some annoying, basically group play, because if you don't know how to do it or you don't know how to position it well, you're going to end up killing your teammate or downing them with the conditions if they're at the state where they're almost going to get downed, if they can't eat, if they don't have enough health to eat the mechanics. So I don't know. Kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. You know, you get rewarded for vomiting on the boss or the enemies, but then you also get a huge risk if you do it on your friends, because then you kill them. So yeah, again, static group play, I don't think that's bad. Statics probably will be able to time and coordinate this better, because you only have like a couple seconds to position it. And if you feel like you don't know how to do it, then just face away, right? Just literally you face the opposite end and just don't hit anyone. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but okay. There you go. All right, Mistlock Instability, Toxic Trail. In addition to cleansing the area, blocking a trail attack now applies the exposed condition to enemies near the source of the trail. This effect can be triggered once per second per trail. Okay, let me read that again. In addition to cleansing the area, blocking a trail attack now applies the exposed condition to enemies near the source of trail. This effect can be triggered once per second per trail. This instability needed some extra incentive for engaging in the trail cleansing mechanic, especially in scenarios with fewer enemies and therefore fewer trails. The ability to apply exposed to enemies by cleansing the trail creates some strategic play opportunities and intrinsic synergy with other instabilities, such as the new outflanked. This is basically just putting conditions on your enemy. Mistlock Instability, Vengeance. Vengeance now affects elite foes. In addition to applying weakness, stripping boons now deals damage to nearby enemies. Oh my god, this, like they've watered down a lot of these. They're not even instabilities at this point. They're called stabilities. You know, just take out the IN in the beginning of the word and just put stability. It's a Mistlock Stability. Okay, so weakness was a good incentive to engage with boon stripping mechanics, but did not feel powerful enough on its own. The additional damage applied by stripping boon rewards engage players with faster clear times. Oh, you have no idea. You actually have no idea. I swear to God. Can you just time every time there's a flux bomb? And if you have flux bomb mechanic and you have toxic sickness mechanic, can you just time it every now and then so you can just piggyback off each mob? So you can just projectile vomit off each map, flux bomb each mob. Basically, just kill them with conditions, with the right instabilities. That's basically what it could happen. Okay. Mistlock Instability. This instability, we bleed fire. This instability has been removed from the active rotation. We bleed fire was a frustrating instability to play around because it was difficult to read in combat with many enemies. It could also double up with other abilities to create gameplay moments that felt unfair or stacked against the player. Rather than reworking this instability, we have shelved it and spent additional time on polishing and improving the rest of the lineup. Yeah, this one can go. It's fine. This one was definitely very annoying to deal with. It's hard to even notice, to be honest. So, kind of sounds like another nail into the coffin of power build. No, it actually sounds like basically power. If you play a power build, you could deal a little bit of Condi damage by having the right instabilities in the fractals that you're playing. So basically, power build players can now also say, "Oh, hey, we got Condi lineups too." So yeah, that think of it that way, right? You have to look at the positive end. The positive end, if you play a power build, you could deal some sort of damage because you have some support from instabilities. That's the positive outlook on this. So yeah, it feels a little bit so basically, let me sum this up, okay? Let me sum up all these Mistlock instabilities. To sum these up, more or less, so we bleed fire. I'm okay with that. It's a very annoying mechanic. It's very annoying instability. You can barely see it. I think that's okay. Which one is the Nightmare Fractal? Nightmare is 98, right? 98 cm? Nightmare Fractal is 98, right? It's very annoying in that fractal. Wait, what is 98? Let me see. Yeah. Nightmare, basically. Yeah, I'm exactly what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so it's very annoying on that fractal in particular. Flux bomb ranges. So the plus side is you don't need to kind of go very far from the group because now the radius is smaller, much smaller. So the radius is smaller. It happens more frequently, and now it can also deal damage on the actual mobs if you place it on the mobs. I guess there's a little bit of strat play there because now you can place it on the mobs. Problem is, like, you know, for like these are very dumbed down. So the problem is a lot of players who regularly play fractals, this basically, the plus for them is they can clear the fractal faster. The negative for them is, well, now they could literally cheese the fractal because some of them will probably find a lot of ways to combine these into very cheese strats, which now kind of takes the fun out of the fractal. So, you know, that's the positive and negative if you can think about it. Yeah, that flux bomb has less range at this point, so you kind of just you don't have to go far away. The radius is smaller and it deals damage. Stick together, basically you get a damage increase. So incoming damage is now increased from 25%, reduced down from 60% when you're within range of an ally. So it's pretty much increased damage. So basically like faster, more or less faster clearing. Outflanked, it's a little up in the list, but I can go back to it. Outflanked, basically it's more or less. Let me go back to it. So damage reduction has been damage reduction from being attacked head on has been removed. Players now take 100% increased damage when attacked from behind. Non-boss enemies now take 100% increased damage when attacked from behind or this side. So basically, it's less annoying to deal with. So like, yeah, I mean, the one shots are, I feel like, don't happen as frequently, but when they do happen, like you're like insta dead. You can clear outs faster. Where do I think that this applies though? Like this will be very annoying, for example, for, I guess, what's the arc? Basically, arc is 99 cm. Like the final boss of 99 cm. It's less annoying for what's his name, in the same cm, score, right? The Norn, literally the first boss of 99 cm. I guess 98 as well, but yeah, probably 98 as well. So it's kind of less annoying. You can clear the outs a little bit faster with this. Now, what else is there? Social awkwardness. So social awkwardness, still kind of annoying, but now you can kind of deal with it with perma stability. So basically, if you can keep stab as much as you can, It's less of an annoying of a mechanic to deal with, but it's still annoying. Basically that's fine. You know what? With stability, it's not too bad. Because you still have to deal with it being annoying. So I think that's okay. Toxic sickness, this one right here. Toxic sickness. Yeah. Kind of sounds like another. Sorry, without calling the expert scaling. What's up, Kiba? Let's see. Toxic sickness. Well, yeah. So toxic sickness, you can basically, puke on the boss, right? You can vomit on the boss. And yeah, if not, and you accidentally, puke on your ally or you puke on your friends, if you projectile vomit on your friends, you basically will kill them. So basically, you have to now aim it on the boss. And if you don't, for some reason, for some particular reason, if you can't aim on the boss because, I don't know, you have to like move away for a second or you're almost about to die and I don't know, you need to get away. Yeah, then maybe just turn the opposite way. So some use of basically making use of your vomit is you can vomit on the boss and the boss actually gets hurt. If not, and you do it on your friends, pretty much Higgle, yes, people will disband and friendships will be torn about this, more or less, right? And if you're in a pug group, you'll probably get kicked out for vomiting on people. So yeah. No pain, no gain. Did I cover no pain, no gain? I'll get back to it. Toxic trail, which is right under toxicness, is pretty much, I mean, you can more or less apply the exposed condition to the enemies, so I guess it's easier to clear enemies faster. So again, if you time it well, I guess you could improve your fractal runtime, but if you can't, then, well, it doesn't really do much for you. So yeah. I think those are honestly it. Yeah, I think those are honestly it. So yeah, those are the fractal changes, guys. So they've dumbed down some of them. They've made some of them very easier to deal with as a mechanic. So again, this is why I say I feel like speedrunning groups are more likely to take more advantage of this than pugs. The benefit is you can clear the fractals faster. The disadvantage is now it's very cheesy. Some of these can actually be very cheese. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's individually if you like that or not, For pugs, it's very good. The bad thing for pugs is, well, there's some of these that can be very punishing if you don't really, like you're probably as a pug, if you're not doing stab, if you're not, getting stab up all the time, you'll probably get called out for social awkwardness. You get called out for this toxic sickness. And yeah, so it's not too bad for pugs. I think like for speedrunners, they'll probably make the most out of this. Whether someone enjoys the fact that now there's some things they could really time with this, if they like that this is the strat play that they can do with these instabilities, I guess that's up to each person. Yeah, it'll be like a mix, yes or no. Anyway, raids. Let's get to raids now. With this update, we're making some changes to raid rewards in an effort to simplify and standardize these systems by improving inventory management, consolidating reward currencies, ensuring that players are properly rewarded for taking down these challenging encounters. Completing any raid encounter with challenge mode active now awards a bonus event chest containing 2 gold coins, 10 magnetite shards, 2 provisioner tokens, bonus experience, and a random exotic item. This reward can be obtained once per week per encounter. I still think they should probably up the provisioner tokens. And I guess maybe an extra random exotic. But I think this is still okay. This is still a nice additional bonus on top of what you already get for completing a raid, and you get extra CM changes, rewards. So nice. So the weekly. So and again, this can be obtained once per week per encounter. The weekly achievement for completing 5 unique challenge mode raid encounters, top tier terror toppler, has been removed. Players will need to manually disable emboldened from the new emboldened mode, or they will not receive challenge mode rewards. We are working on a fix for this and will update as soon as the fix is live. Gating crystals have been retired, and players will automatically have any gating crystals in their possession in exchange for an equal amount of magnetite shards. Very nice. Actually, very good that they're starting to condense some of these currencies, because the wallet is honestly pretty big. So yeah, another step in reducing the currencies in the game. The weekly magnetite shard currency cap has been doubled. This is to account for the amount that you get from this a week. You get, I think, about 150 of this a week. So this is supposed to account for the extra amount that you're supposed to get from this. Raids and achievement rewards that previously awarded gating crystals now award magnetite shards. Merchants who previously traded items for the crystals will now accept magnetite shards in their place. The portable gating crystal exchange item has been renamed Kadim's Portable Magnetite Shard Exchange. Legendary Divinations has been retired and replaced by Legendary Insights, and you can now consume your Legendary Divinations from your inventory to exchange them for Legendary Insights. Legendary Insights will now be added directly to your wallet. You can add your existing Legendary Insights to your wallet by consuming them from your inventory. Scholar Glenna now sells Gift of Prowess and Gift of Compassion, which you can purchase for the same number of wallet-based Legendary Insights using their Mystic Forge recipes. Very good changes. Yes, get everything into currency format. That's what we want to see. World Polish. No, I don't want to edit this. World Polish. Updated iconic characters from some LS1 story missions to become temporarily stunned rather than needing revival if they are defeated. Updated the models used by Watch Knights and Twisted Nightmares to be consistent with changes to Twisted Marionette. Personal story home instance. Fix the bug that caused NPCs to appear inside walls and collidable objects. NPCs now appear on regular terrain as intended. Fix the bug that caused a Quaggan hatchling standing near the Orion Oyster gathering node to interrupt gathering attempts. Wow, this Quaggan was probably just a menace to society. Nice, they fixed the menace. Fix the bug that caused the cat model to overlap with the script model in the human home instance. Interesting. Sky Pirates Aether Investigation. Fix the bug that caused Inspector Keel to lose her quest marker. I mean, that's fine. Inspector Keel always looks lost anyway. General. Newly made crafting research consumables will now automatically be consumed instead of going into a player's inventory. Crafting research consumables made prior to this update are affected by this change. Actually, you know what? I would rather if they stayed in the inventory. Yeah, I don't know. I would have actually preferred if they stayed in the inventory. Removed the Imperial Everbloom purchase limit from Zazzle, the strike mission rewards vendor. Okay. Didn't even know that there was a purchase limit. Improved visuals for higher contrast mouse cursors. Nice, because they've really been trying to make this more, you know, more or less more intuitive, the mouse cursors. So I like that they're trying to increase it more to make it easier for people with issues to see. Dungeons. Fix the bug that prevented explorable dungeon path completion from registering players as having unlocked vendor purchases. After logging in, all players who have previously completed the dungeon exploration path will receive credit for 2 path completions per unique path for dungeon vendor unlocks. Items. New mischarged Jade trinkets are now available in the Skirmish Supervisor's Extended Trinkets tab in WW. These trinkets offer the new Dragons and Ritual stat options from the Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons expansion. Oh my god, Ritualist. Alright, profession skills. Engineer, Mechanist, Mech Frame, Variable Mass Distributor. Fix the bug causing the Jade Mech's critical hit chance with this trait equipped to be exactly 17.8% less than the displayed critical hit chance in its pet stats tooltip. What is the actual displayed critical hit chance? Is someone playing a mech right now? You know what I would have been okay with? I would have okay if they said, you know, there is a bug that basically caused this to happen, right? To be exactly 17.8% less chance. I would have been okay if they just said this bug, we're going to basically make it the actual amount. You know, like it was supposed to be, this was a buff, right? That turned out to be less than what they intended. And they fixed it, so now it's pretty much what it was intended. I would have been fine if this was actually the change. They just let it be this. Oh my god, bro. Mech is so brain dead. Yeah, this should have just stayed as it is. Should have just said this is not a bug. This is actually as intended. And in fact, we're going to change it in the game to make sure this is exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah. This is... Guardian. Willbender has been a powerful force in PvP since the enhancement of Righteous Instinct. We're mostly happy with the impact that change had on power Guardian builds as a whole, but it pushed Willbender damage a bit over the top. We want to be careful not to bring damage down too much, and we've started with adjustments to the offhand sword skills and rushing justice. We'll be keeping an eye on the impact of these changes. We'll make further adjustments if necessary. So rushing justice, they reduce the power coefficient from 1.5 to 1.2 in PvP. Are these all? These are all PvP actually. All these changes now are PvP, except this. This I think is, yeah, this is a PvE change. So reduce the power coefficient from 1.5 to 1.2. Executioner's Calling. Target forward with the rending force follow up this attack with a dual strike that deals increased damage. Okay. Reduce the power coefficient of secondary attacks from 0.4 to 0.33 in PvP only. Advancing strike. Reduce power coefficient from 1.4 to 0.9 in PvP only. I can't speak too much on this, but is Willbender feel a little bit too much in PvP? PvP gamers, what are you saying what are we saying about this, PvP gamers? Let me know what you say about this. Yeah? Oh, so you're okay with this? Okay. By the way, yeah, here you go, Mel. A Necromancer. Elixir of Ambition. It's still an incredibly powerful skill in PvP even after the reduction of its might application in the June 28th update. For this update, we're reducing the duration of the boons it applies, but we'll be keeping an eye on how it performs. Corruptor's Fervor is another key piece of the build, bringing a high protection uptime that can be difficult to interact with. Reducing the protection duration to make these builds a bit more susceptible to incoming pressure. Reduce boon durations from 5 to 3 seconds. Reduce protection duration from 3 to 1.5 seconds. You know, every time I just see Necromancer, I'm okay with the changes. But yeah, funny thing is, I should be like that with Guardian. But yeah, okay. The Vindicator's defensive tools in PvP have continued to overperform. Avatar PvP amulet builds became more difficult to kill following recent changes from Legendary Centaur stance and the Salvation trait line. But even aggressive Vindicator builds that take Imperial Impact over Saint's Shield have strong survivability through high vigor uptime and solid self-healing on top of the other defensive skills. The healing skills in Legendary Alliance lines are notable outliers in the healing potential, especially due to how frequently they're available to use. We decided to leave the healing amounts untouched to maintain the impact moment when using these skills, instead increase the cooldown to create a larger window of opportunity for enemy players to push through the damage. Bringing these skills in line with other Revenant heals reduce the significant cooldown increase, and we want to give some slight compensation by reducing energy cost. Wrapping up the Vindicator adjustments are reductions to vigor uptime and 2 additional changes targeted at Avatar Amulet builds to further bring down their self-survivability with reductions to Saint Shield and Unyielding Devotion. We left most of Salvation and Ventari untouched for this update, as we want these tools to be available for potential support Revenant builds. And we want to gauge the impact of this set of changes before doing anything further. We prepared to follow up with additional changes to Vindicator survival as needed. Going forward, we'll try to strike a balance between enabling support builds and keeping selfish defensive builds in check. So Selfish Spirit pretty much increased the cooldown from 10 to 30 seconds in PvP only. The energy cost has been reduced from 10 to 5. Selfless Spirit, again, increased cooldown from 10 to 30 seconds. Oh, that's a huge gap of downtime for you as a Vindicator. It's a huge gap. 20 seconds can really make a huge difference. Song of Arborum, reduced vigor duration from 4 to 2. Unwavering Avoidance, reduced vigor duration from 3 to 1.5. Only when the Vindicator specialization is equipped. Saint Shield, reduced the base healing barrier from 1,738 to 1,054 in PP only. Reducing a barrier attribute scaling from 0.7 to 0.5. Reduced healing and barrier attribute scaling from 0.7 to 0.5. Unyielding Devotion, reduced strike damage from 50% to... Wow, that's a massive change to Vindicator. Vindicator performs really well. I actually like how Vindicator is. I can understand where they're coming from because it is kind of 10 seconds. Yeah, it's really very very difficult to deal with them within like literally they're ready to go within 10 seconds with like their own heals and everything. 30 seconds does make it a lot more interesting because now they have an additional 20. That being said, I feel like you'd still be okay, but this would definitely now separate a good Vindicator from a slightly or just a below decent one. So yeah, I guess this it would kind of make some people question if they want to take the risk. Warrior, oh wow, Warrior has something. In the June 28th release, we updated the Furious burst rate in the arms line. Oh yeah. Oh no, did they actually listen to the community? So yeah, in the 28th release, we updated the Furious burst rate in the arms line to include a 5% critical chance when under the effect of Fury. However, modern power warrior builds don't typically incorporate the arms trait line, meaning that warriors were not fairly compensated for the Fury change. You don't say. You don't say. In this update, we've added 5% increased critical chance to Pinnacle of Strength in the strength trait line. Furious burst will retain its increased critical chance. Yeah, so now it gives 5% increased critical chance in addition to its other effects. Wait. Bro, Warrior just got like basically like an extra 100 power and that was it. That's basically it. Like, I swear to God, you can't catch a break with this class. It's just literally just, yeah, adding 100 power to this class. At least they understood. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. Anyway, okay. There you go. Well, that is all your patch notes for July 19th, 2022, gamers. Living World Season 1 Clockwork Chaos episode is out now. There's been some improvements to the world bosses with mechanics and models and health increases and skill telegraphs. Fractal Mistlock Instabilities got a huge change. You could call it being dumbed down. Hey, thanks so much, Just One Last Hit, for the tier 1, 17 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. I was going to put some money on my card to resub. Nice, thanks. Nice. But yeah, I mean, hey, you know what I see? You know what I honestly see, chat? This to me basically says Hardstuck Mistlock Madness Fractal Tournament number 2 up and coming. Okay, it has to happen at this point. We have to do HMM number 2. It's only a matter of time. Let's go. Let's get the Fractal Tournament up here again. Thanks so much, Imon. Yes, thanks so much for the raid. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's only 40 degrees outside, like a frying pan the whole day. Yeah, Europe is, yeah, you're already going through some, yeah. I mean, hey, I mean, I feel like that every day because every day is 40 degrees in Dubai, Celsius. Yeah. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, Fractal Mistlock Instability. Listen, hey, what we have some lovely Fractal Tournament gaming to go through now. This might encourage more players to play in the tournament now. Perfect. Great. Last year we were kind of struggling to get teams, but then towards the end of the tournament, towards the end of the registration phase, like, you know, we ended up getting 14 teams, 16, but I couldn't approve the last 2 because it was too late to approve them. But yeah, you know what? Perfect. But on a real note, these changes feel a little dumbed down. They can include some very cheesy strats if you're a very knowledgeable player. So advantage, I guess, faster clear times. Disadvantage, you might not find it fun. For pugs, it's the same. Advantage, it's a bit easier. Disadvantage, if you don't respect some of these mechanics like toxic sickness or betrayal or social awkwardness, then you may still be punished by them. So that's more or less what I really feel about these fractal changes. But there you go. It's there. You know what? That's fine. We'll promote Hardstuck Mistlock Madness number 2 soon TM later this year. Raids, the rewards are more or less good changes. The currencies are, I like that they're condensing the currencies. That's great. World Polish, this is just kind of fixing up some regular world bugs in the game. Yeah, there you go. That's really it. Most of these changes are PvP based, and this is honestly a change that didn't need to happen. They could have just kept the bug as it is for Mechanist. There you go. So yeah, that's it. July 19, 2022. That's your changes. Thank you so much for watching the video on YouTube. If you want to catch us on stream, I'm always streaming on twitch.tv/GuildMM. All links in the description, all social media in the description. The patch notes included in the description. But until then, YouTube, I will see you when I see you. So take care. Bye.